Welcome to Section 8.3, Part 2. This is the 66th session of the CISSP Exam Prep series. This part moves from the foundations into the named security models. In this session, we'll dig into the classic models the exam loves to test. We'll answer several questions. How does the take-grant model pass rights around? What is an access control matrix? How do ACLs and capability lists differ? How does Bell-LaPadula protect confidentiality? And how does Biba flip that same idea to protect integrity? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because these models are the DNA behind real access control systems you configure every week. When you set a file permission, inherit rights from a group, or classify a document, you are living inside one of these frameworks, whether you name it or not. Knowing the models lets you predict how a system will behave and lets you answer those tricky read up and write down questions without second guessing. So how does the take-grant model pass rights around? It uses a directed graph to describe how permissions travel between subjects and objects, governed by 4 rules. The take rule lets a subject take rights from another entity. The grant rule lets a subject hand its rights to another. The create rule lets a subject generate brand new rights. And the remove rule lets it delete rights it holds. Together, these let you trace exactly when rights can change and where leakage might occur. You already see this in modern systems. When a user inherits permissions from a group, or a file inherits its access settings from a parent folder. Think of a set of keys. You can copy one for a colleague, take one that was offered to you, cut a new one, or throw an old one away. What is an access control matrix, and how do ACLs and capability lists differ? An access control matrix is a grid mapping subjects against objects, laying out precisely which operations each subject is permitted on each object. Read it one way and you get 2 different structures. Reading down a column gives you an access control list, which is tied to an object and names every subject's allowed actions on it. Reading across a row gives you a capability list, which is tied to a subject and names every object it can touch. That distinction matters for administration. Managing by object through ACLs is far easier than managing by subject, because revoking access to one resource through capability lists means editing every single user who had it. Think of a spreadsheet of who can enter which rooms. Columns describe each room's allowed people, rows describe each person's allowed rooms. How does Bell-LaPadula protect confidentiality? It was built for military-style, multi-level security, and it has one job: keeping secrets from leaking downward. It rests on a state machine, uses mandatory access controls, and arranges classifications in a lattice. Its 2 famous rules are the heart of it. The simple security property says no read-up, so you cannot read data above your clearance. The star property says no write-down, so you cannot copy sensitive data to a lower level, which would be like pasting a top-secret memo into a public file. A third property uses an access matrix to enforce need to know. There is one exception. A trusted subject may violate no write-down to legitimately declassify information. Remember, simple is about reading. Star is about writing. How does Biba flip that same idea to protect integrity? Biba came after Bell-LaPadula and is essentially its mirror image, swapping confidentiality for integrity. It too rests on a state machine, information flow, and multiple levels. Its rules invert the earlier ones. The simple integrity property says no read down, so you do not pull in data of lower integrity. The star integrity property says no write up, so you cannot corrupt data held at a higher integrity level. An invocation property blocks a lower process from requesting higher access. Keep the pattern straight. Simple always concerns reading, star always concerns writing, and each rule states what you must not do. Think of a pristine kitchen. You never let ingredients from a questionable source flow up into the dish you are certifying as clean. So let's bring it together. The take-grant model uses take, grant, create, and remove rules to move rights around a graph. An access control matrix reads as object-focused ACLs down its columns and subject-focused capability lists across its rows. Bell-LaPadula guards confidentiality with no read-up and no write-down, while Biba inverts that to guard integrity with no read-down and no write-up. Anchor yourself with one memory trick: simple is reading, star is writing, and the rules always say what not to do. In the next part, we finish with Clark Wilson and Brewer and Nash. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.